All right, another Armand's opinion time. I literally just finished this. Just finished this book, Dean Koontz, Going Home in the Dark. See, I have my I'd rather be reading Dean Koontz shirt on. I mean, I've had it on for several days. There's cat hair all over it. Anyway, I knocked this book out in like 3 days, 4 days. Um, I liked it. Let's start there. I am a huge, huge Dean Koontz fan. When I was 12 years old, I started reading Dean Koontz books, and I never stopped. And once he got the deal with Amazon, where and all of his books went into Kindle Unlimited, as soon as they come out, the day they hit, boom, one of the 20 slots for my Kindle Unlimited is just a Dean Koontz slot. So now that I finished this book, I will not dump it off of my Kindle. I'll just leave it there for the next book, and then the next, and the next. And so I've read nearly everything. I'm going to be honest with you. I have not read the Frankenstein books, but I've read pretty much everything else. I love his standalones, always have. Huge, huge fan. So, Dean Koontz gets the knock that every book has a golden retriever in it. He hasn't done that in a while. I mean, he's written a couple. There's been a couple of those. There's no dogs in this one. Okay, I would say that. I'm gonna try to do this without spoilers. Okay, so if you haven't read this yet, I mean, bottom line, I'll give it 4 stars. If you are a Dean Koontz fan, you will like this. It's a little different. There's a lot more humor. So one of the parts in this that he did that I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of. As a writer, you would think I would be like, hey, that's pretty meta, pretty cool. I didn't like he does a lot of author asides. Right in the middle of a chapter or something, he's basically being, break down the fourth wall, and he's telling you things. There's a part in here where all the characters, there's 4 characters, okay? There's Rebecca, there's Ernie, there's Spencer, and there's Bobby. And they were nerds, the amigos, and they met as teenagers, and now, 20 years later, they're still all good friends. They get back into the town that they all go back to the town they grew up in. And at one point, they're all having a conversation. They're all trying to figure out what's going on. What's the mystery of what's going on. And so he does an author aside of, I'm basically just gonna detail everything. They're talking, but we're not gonna use. You're not gonna know who said it because anybody could have said it. So there's no tags at all. You don't know who's saying it. I guess it really doesn't matter. But he does that for like a page and a half where they're just, sentence after sentence after sentence. They just have a big conversation. And I was like, all right. But then there's other parts where like he's like, oh, he fell into, when he paints, he falls into a fugue state. But then he has to describe what that is, and as an aside, in case the reader doesn't know what that is. Stuff like that. And I don't know why. I'm going to be honest with you, it bothered me. It was like, all right, you're taking me out of the story. Just tell me the damn story. But you're Dean Koontz, man. You can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? You can literally write this book any way you want, which is what he did. And good for him. It is, I don't want to give away anything because I think as if you're a Dean Koontz fan, you're gonna like this one. Again, little different. I gave it a 4. Probably would have given it like a 4.5. Because it is a little bit too much. The asides took me out of it, and at one point I'm like, oh, what are we? Don't do this, and then he did that. I can't really say anything else, but you'll figure it out. Lots of humor. The last few books has gotten more and more humor. He makes fun of himself. once or twice, I think, which is great. It's got a lot of pop references. He's got a lot of writing stuff in it, which I would imagine the average reader who's never wanted to write a book will be like, all right, I guess that's an inside look into writing, something like that, you know. Overall, overall, I liked it. Listen, this is the thing. I was excited when this book was coming out, and came out like, I don't know, a week ago. I just got to it, knocked it out in the last few days and nights, and I am looking forward to the next one, whatever that will be. I always get excited when I see a new Dean Koontz book is being is out there for pre-order. Again, I just read them through Kindle Unlimited, and one of these days I really want to go back and go through like the entire list and go, what have I actually not read? You know, it's not much. It's not much because all through the '80s, I read everything, every paperback that came out. I was getting, or my mother was buying. My mother's a huge Stephen King fan. She does like Dean Koontz, but she's a huge Stephen King fan, which is always funny that I'm a Koontz fan and she's a King fan. But she would always buy the Dean Koontz paperbacks as they came out, and I would always read them right after she'd literally be like, all right, this one's done, hand it to me, and I would read it. And so at one point I had, I don't know, like 50 of his paperbacks years ago, but then when I moved to Florida in 2001, I ended up giving them all away or selling them or whatever I did with them. They're gone. So I read them. I have a bunch of paperbacks that I use for my little free library that I've gotten over the years, and so maybe I'll go back at some point and I will pick up a couple that maybe I have not read, maybe even the Frankenstein books. Who knows? Who can say? So there's my spoiler-free. I liked it. I think you're gonna like it. It's kind of a throwback to some of his '80s stuff, but with a lot more humor into this. A lot bigger characters. Let's say that. So there you go. Did you read it? Let me know if you liked it or you didn't. Let me know if you disagree with what I'm saying, or if you are going to pick it up and read it. Let me know once you're done with it what you thought of it. I want to know. I really want to know what you think of this book. Now that you know what I think of this book.